All in all, it's what all of us would expect from a Southern Cal team. They're going to be, very polished, very confident in their system. I think when you're confident in your system, you're capable of executing, and it'll be an exciting time. I think our guys are excited to have a ball game like this. It's one of the things I think when our kids looked at coming to Ohio State, and over the last 4 or 5 years when they could look at playing in a great conference like the Big Ten and also having some of these national stage games sprinkled through the schedule over the years, it's what makes it special. And so obviously we need all the help we can get from the folks being nice and loud, and we were thinking about imposing a curfew for all the fans all week long so they come with a lot of energy and be louder than they've ever been in their entire lives. And but our guys will be excited, and they came in yesterday, I thought, with a good attentiveness to be willing to look at what they needed to get better at on the film from the Navy game, but also to look forward and see if they could take the next step in becoming a good football team. They have an excellent knack of coming up with what we call explosive gains. They might go a couple plays and it's, business as usual, and then boom, all of a sudden it's a 17-yarder. And so they hit us with a couple big ones. But probably the thing that affected our defense as much as anything was the fact that we turned it over on offense. And, we always talk about the marriage, between the offense and the defense and the special teams. You could probably go back and study a lot of good defenses that all of a sudden the kick teams killed them because there was great field position all the time, or the offensive teams killed them because they turned the ball over back in their own end, or like in our case, we had one for a touchdown. But it was some of those explosive gains at opportune times that they have a tremendous ability and knack of doing that. I probably don't think that far out. I mean, the opening kickoff, if we're kicking to them, is going to be the biggest thing going on in the world. And then the next play and the next play, and at the end of the game, if we're successful, all of a sudden the world isn't perfect, because we're still going to have to grade the film and come in and get ready to do it again. And if we're not successful, chances are, as long as there's no tragedies, the world won't end. But we're excited about this opportunity, and we think this is a big deal. I mean, if you put our guys under hypnosis or whatever in the summertime and ask them the question, what game you thinking about, I'm sure it would be Ohio State USC, and that's it's big. I thought there were some moments where we did some pretty good things up front. I thought there was some indecisive moments. There's so much to the communication that goes on in the course of the trenches there, and you had a couple critical penalties, and the one that comes to mind most is we go out the second half saying, hey, we better understand what Navy's all about. We got to come storming. So, boom, the kickoff team stormed. 3 and out. We get the ball on the plus side of the field. 5 yards on the first play. Boy, that's just what you want. And then all of a sudden, penalty. And you talk about, taking, the momentum away from, and a couple of those were on the offensive line. We had a holding, we had an offsides, and so we have to eliminate those. And we had another penalty down in. We're going down in, and so there were some things that looked like we have a chance, and then there were some things that make you recognize that you got ways to get better. There's nowhere they'd rather be than playing Ohio State and USC. I mean, they were, I'm sure, that was in the forefront of their mind. To me, that's one of the exciting things about having a schedule like we have, is that you get to daydream for a moment about, man, I better get ready. This is going to be something right off the bat. So to us, the key to the game of defensive football is applying pressure. And applying pressure to pass protections, which therefore ultimately you want to apply pressure to the guy that's got the ball in his hands. Whether it's a back that sees 4 silver helmets coming or a quarterback who feels a lot of pressure. So without a doubt, that young man is far enough along that if he has a chance to just stand around, he's not going to miss. I mean, he's a good. He knows where his guys are going. He knows what you're in, and if he has time, he's going to complete it. What I think really makes Southern Cal a great challenge, talent aside, they're very talented, but they are so balanced. You can't say, well, you know what, we're going to force them to pass. We're going to put 16 guys in the box, and they're not going to run it. Well, then they're going to pass it. And just the opposite. Oh, we're going to double those great receivers, and all that stuff. Well, if you're doubling those great receivers, you don't have many guys in the box, and they're going to hurt you running. So to me, the fact that they're so balanced, and they do run at you and misdirect you, and got lots of speed, lots of places, and speed is crucial. So real challenging. I learn something from you guys every day I come. I had no idea of the line, other than their line, and their line's darn good. But on both sides, by the way, I don't know. I mean, the role I like is that I'm on Ohio State and we're playing USC. That's what I like. Columbus, Ohio, highlighted, and the whole world coming to watch us. And, they're a great football team. We're trying to become one.
Getting back to outside factors, how much talk or thought is there of carrying the Big Ten flag into a huge game like this?
Of course, there's a lot of talk and everything about just how everything's going with the Big Ten right now. But it'd be nice to get a big win. But if not, I don't think the Big Ten's hurting right now. A lot of people were talking about last weekend where teams struggled, but it was the first week. A lot of teams are going to come out and struggle. So I think the Big Ten's fine, and I don't think this game has a lot to do with it. It's just another game for us.
Who was the most famous person you saw on the sidelines last year?
Denzel Washington. He was on our sideline for a second. It was pretty interesting, but after a while, all that it gets blocked out, and it's just us and them on the field, and that's how it will be this weekend.
Who do you think would be the most famous person on the sideline this year in Columbus?
Maybe LeBron or Nader Abdallah. He probably would be back. So Nader's one of the most famous people I think.